Get ready for Sonia, Teresa, Vanessa, Bettina. Come on. Say what? Come on. Say what? We got bam, hot topics. We got what the fudge. So bring it on. Say what? Bring it on. Say what? We got questions. We got the answers. You wanna chit? You wanna chat? You wanna talk about this and talk about that? You're in the right place to hear the facts. Bring it on. Say what? Bring it on. Say what? The ladies are bringing the conversation. So join us on Say What across the nation. Bring it on, y'all. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it on. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it on. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it on, y'all. Say what? Come on. Say what? Bring it on.
Hello, ladies. You all
Hello.
so beautiful today.
Yes, we are.
Wonderful Saturday. Yes, ma'am, Miss Bettina. We are so happy to have our wonderful audience joining us today. We have a wonderful show in store for you today, and we're planning to have some fun. So please sit back. We're going to talk about all our hilarious Christmas memories, events, good, not so good, but whatever it is, it was memorable. So sit back and relax and enjoy the fun and the ride along with us. Ladies, again, you all are looking so beautiful. You all just so bright. You know what? You all introduce yourselves. Just have at it. Miss Bettina, what say you?
Miss Bettina, as you can see that the name says, I am Bettina, the / single mother / resident veteran / junior bishop / comedian / snack.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're just a woman of many talents. Many
Yes.
talents. You
I'm
can't be
just
nailed
glad
down
you
to
say.
can't be nailed down to one. So Miss Sonia.
Hello, everyone. I am Sonia. I am the one who bring your inspirational word week after week. Well, I guess I should say bi-weekly because we're here bi-weekly. How about
Yes,
that?
ma'am. But you bring it week after week also, because we talk in between. So you're
Yes,
always
we do.
constantly bringing it. You bring
Yes,
it
we
on
do.
air bi-weekly, but you're always bringing it every day, every day. That's why you're the bishop. And then we have the junior bishop down there too. So we got bishop and junior bishop. So I am well covered today. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Amen.
Well, speaking of the bishop and covering, before we go any further, Sonia, what you got a word for us today?
I do. I'm going to be reading to you John chapter 12, verses 46 through 48, the New Living Translation. And it reads, excuse me, I have come as light to shine in this dark world. And this is Jesus speaking. So that all who put their trust in me will no longer remain in the dark. I would not judge those who hear me, but don't obey me. For I have come to save the world and not judge it. But all who reject me and my message will be judged on the day of judgment by the truth I have spoken. And I just read to you John 12, 46 through 48. And, the word speaks for itself. And God gave me this word because we just need to be reminded that during this season, the reason why we celebrate Christmas, I'm going to say Christmas today.
That's right.
And the reason why we celebrate it is because of Jesus, who came to save the world. He gave his life for us that we might have eternal life. And so I just want to encourage you that as you're out with the hustle and bustle of Christmas and, giving gifts and prayerfully thinking about others and maybe doing volunteer work, is just to remember what it's all about. And not just giving, when you're giving gifts, don't think about just giving tangible gifts, but give the gift of love, of kindness. Give the gift of Jesus, more importantly, to those who are lost, because he came to save the lost. And so I encourage you to share the good news of Jesus Christ. Let him know. Let the people know how wonderful he is and how wonderful he's been to you, and why you love him so much and why you serve him and why it's important for us to keep him first in our lives. So I pray this Christmas is a different Christmas for you, that you're not focused on what you don't have, but you focus on who you have living inside of you. And for those of you who don't have him, we can tell you how to get him. All you have to do is surrender your life over to him and ask him to come into your heart and to forgive you of your sins and believe that he came and died and got up again. It's just that simple. So Merry Christmas is what I'm going to say today.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You know, Sonia, that is a beautiful, beautiful word, and in season. It's a word in season, because so often, you know, we see people depressed, stressed out because they, you know, they've got the absolute wrong idea of what this season is about. We are here to celebrate the life of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, it's not about gifts. You know, it's not about you going broke because, you know, I got to get my child the best, you know, pair of Jordans or whatever it is they've asked for. It's not about all that. It's not about you being depressed because you can't get or give whatever it is that you're trying to do. That's actually total opposite of what this season is about.
Amen.
God came, you know, he sent his son so that we may have life. He already gave us the gift of life. And, you know, he gave us the ultimate gift. So while we're running around trying to make sure that, you know, we get Jane and John and Jimmy, you know, X, Y, and Z, we've lost focus. We've so lost our focus, you know, on what this true season is about. Bettina, what do you say?
Exactly what you said, and then some. And here's the and then some, because that's one of my slashes. And then some.
Yes, ma'am.
I am ready to have a good time today. And so, as the bishop stated so eloquently, as she always does, it's Christmas. It's about the birth of Jesus Christ. That's what we're celebrating, and it has become so absolutely commercialized that we get caught up. And even in our best efforts, when we try not to, we do get caught up in the fact that we want to give gifts. I'm telling you, my daughter and I, almost every year for the last few years, have said, we're not giving gifts. The next thing you know, somebody got a little something wrapped up. Well, I know we wasn't giving gifts, but I just wanted to get you this. And then she pulled something out because she didn't follow the rules either. And so, however, I am really proud that with my family, for the most part, my children, they know that Jesus is the reason for the season. Yes. And we are happy to celebrate and have a good time together. And even the more happy when we have family around. It doesn't matter about whether you get gifts. Sure, absolutely. We usually try to get gifts for the children, you know, that type of thing. Right. However, for us, the adults, we're like, listen, let's have a good time. Let's sit around. Let's talk a little noise about each other. Let's have some fun.
Exactly.
And depending on what house you're in, they might drink a little something. I'm not saying my house.
I know, but your neighbor, not yours, but your neighbor. Your neighbors. I got you. I truly understand. And you know, you think the way we grew up, you know, and you know, they not sure if they knew better and just didn't do better or just decided not to do it or whatnot anyway. But we grew up thinking that, you know, a fat Caucasian man was coming down the chimney and bringing us toys and whatnot. So, you know, we kind of had that, for the most part, embedded in us, that was what we were supposed to do even as an adult, or had to do even as an adult. That was a tradition, and I'm not knocking it because I thoroughly enjoyed it growing up. You know, what was left on the Christmas tree by this mysterious person, even though we didn't have a chimney.
Right, we're gonna move on. Look, when we get to the funny stories, wait till I tell you one of our funny Christmas stories. Look about the fat white man in the chimney.
Exactly. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we maintain the focus, what the true focus of this holiday season is about, what the Christmas season is about. It's about Christ. It is about Christ. Like you said, Christ must, because that is the sole purpose we even celebrate. The only reason we have this is because of him. Without him, there would be no reason for this season. Right. Kirk Franklin, shout out to Kirk Franklin. But, you know, Jesus is the reason for the season. So, Sonia, we thank you so much for the word. Any last comments or before we move forward?
No, just share Jesus.
Yes, ma'am. Just share Jesus. That's a good last word. Yes, ma'am. So now I suppose y'all probably would like some entertainment news, huh?
Yes, please.
Yes.
I'm looking for Toto and NEM to go flying by any minute now, for real.
So if you get disconnected, we know what happened because that weather's rough over there.
Oh yes, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it's coming down. But anyway, so in the news, Jesse Smollett, or as Dave Chappelle calls him, Juicy Smollett. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist it. Jesse Smollett was found guilty on 5 out of 6 counts of filing and reporting a false hate crime. And if he was convicted, but his sentencing could range anywhere from up to 3 years to a fine. Right now, attorneys who are not affiliated with the case are thinking that he'll just get a fine because he doesn't have a history, he doesn't have a record or anything. But they're thinking right now, because he didn't hurt anyone really but himself, and it did cost the city money because they had to put in the time to go out and find these mysterious characters. But which is one of the other reasons why they wanted to put him on trial. But he was convicted of 5 out of 6 counts of filing a false hate crime report. What do you all think about that? Should he get time or no?
I don't think he should get time. I do believe that, he should pay back the money that the city had to spend, going out searching for somebody going back to the mysterious person that wasn't there. And so I do think he needs to pay fines or what have you, pay the court cost and all of that. But I don't think it's worth jail time. No. I mean, there are people who have done much worse and still walk the streets. So,
and to your point, well, I'll let Bettina speak, and then I've got a point to make to what you just said, Sonia. Go ahead, Bettina.
Right. That point too, Bishop, much worse. However, the prisons are packed, okay? And they're packed unnecessarily. And we're going to put him in there. I'm going to tell you something. He has paid. He does need to pay financially because he used those resources that could have been used for someone else. However, he has paid. They have cancel cultured him and some more stuff. He's Juicy Smollett. Like, come on, y'all. You think that is sentence enough to have to live for the rest of your celebrity days as Juicy, okay, instead of Jesse. You see how I said that? Because when you say Juicy, you can't say Juicy Smollett. You got to say Juicy. That's punishment enough.
Yes, ma'am. Juicy Smollett. Do you think he'll have an opportunity to get back and into acting?
I think so.
I do too.
I think so. I think people, I'm just gonna be real with you. I think our people who look like me will give him a chance. Mm-hmm. If the industry was like it was years ago, then I may think differently. Mm-hmm. But because the industry is a lot different now, I just believe over time, people who look like us would definitely give him a chance.
Right, I think so too. And the reason I think so is because we as a general people love a good redemption story. Mm-hmm. We really do, and I'm gonna tell you how he's gonna get back in real well if he hasn't done so already, because I haven't been following Jesse. Today is all about a good time.
Yes, ma'am.
So the way he really will is if he goes on a Good Morning America or something like that and says, listen, file on the play, right? Like, I should have known better, and I apologize to everybody who believed in me and this, that, and the other. I, like everyone else, I slip, I fall, I make some horrible mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Or I make some bad missteps. I try not to say mistakes too often. If he does that, gets in a good movie that really has people drawn in, and he's not necessarily the lead, but plays a good part, we like a redemption story. We really do.
And that he don't lie. If he gets on a Good Morning America, Today Show, or somebody, whatever, be honest and tell the truth that, it was all about publicity or whatever, you needed some attention, but tell the truth. Don't lie.
So you saying tell the truth and shame the devil? Is that what you're saying, Bishop? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's why I'm the junior bishop. I come in, I swoop in with these things.
Ma'am.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. And you're good at it too, Bettina. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, she is.
Well, he said he was appealing. I don't know why. I don't know why he's gotten off and whatnot. He might actually get out of being sentenced to do prison time, but he did say he was going to appeal. He said he understood, but he didn't agree with the verdict, and he was going to appeal. I hope someone will tell him, just go on and sit down.
We don't know it's gonna take us longer to forgive him with all of that. He need to
Yes, ma'am.
he need to do what the older people say, sat down.
Sat down. Yes, ma'am. And but they were saying if he gets jail time, they don't. They, who they is, right? They are saying that they don't understand why there's even talk of him getting jail time, because Dion says don't count on him telling the truth. He's deep into the lie, which is true, because when you tell a lie, you get deeper and deeper to keep it up. You keep telling them one after the other.
That's exactly right. That's why I said he's gonna make it harder. He's gonna make it harder for us to be forgiving him, because he's doing all this appealing. He needs to sit down.
But they, as I was saying earlier, were saying they didn't understand why talk was on the table for him to even get jail time when you had that Kyle Rittenhouse could kill 2 people and didn't do anything. So, I'm just saying what they are saying. So just saying what the people out there are talking, what the word on the streets is. So we'll keep that, we'll keep you posted on that. Keep
Absolutely.
posted on the word on the streets. And I'll hit another story real quick. Peloton, you ever watch Sex and the City?
I watched it.
So now they've come out with a remake or a reboot or second chapter or another instance of it. It's called, and what is it called? It is called And Just Like That. Everybody's there except the wild child, and I'm drawing Samantha. Thank you. Everybody's there but her. And this is for those of you who watch it. I'm about to what is it called? I'm about to tell you something that you probably don't want to hear. What is it? A spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So close your ears if you don't want to hear it and have it already. But Mr. Big dies in this show. I guess in the first show he dies, and and they're saying it's because he was on a Peloton. He was on a Peloton working out and had a heart attack. Carrie comes home, finds him, and I don't know why she didn't dial 911 to call to get him some help, but she just runs over, grabs him, and holds him until he dies. So I think they should charge her for murder for not getting his help.
I don't want to address this anymore because you already did the spoiler alert. We need to move on.
I'm sorry, but Peloton was upset because their stock plunged 11% behind that. Yes, ma'am. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I was just bringing it to the people. Their stock plunged 11%, and they said, you asked us for help. We sent a person on to show y'all how to use it on the show, but you didn't tell us what the storyline was going to be. It caused their stock to plunge 11%. 11% stock plunge. So they put out a statement and said, Mr. Big smoked cigars, he ate big steaks, and didn't leave that kind of lifestyle, that you should lead, healthy. Right. And that contributed more so to his heart attack than the Peloton. Girl, it's just hilarious. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. And then the last story that I wanted to get to, before I end, but Better.com. Did you all hear about that CEO?
Yes.
I tell you, the more every day it's like something new. But the Better.com CEO, for those of you who may not know the backstory, but the Better.com CEO laid off 900 employees over Zoom. He did it all over Zoom, and now he's decided he's going to take a leave of absence effective immediately. And I'm thinking he probably should have done that when he was trying to lay people off and then stand by the way he did it.
Right. Oh my. Can you imagine being on that call?
Yes, because I was on one similar. The only difference in mine is they didn't lay, it was my entire department, which was 100 and something people. And they didn't lay us off. They evidently talked to their attorneys on how they could do it and not end up in the news like these people. But they moved us to a different company. They called us. We had a conference call, and they said, as of this date, you'll no longer be an employee of our company, but you'll be an employee of said company. We'll move everything with you. So I didn't lose anything. but they moved us over. And if we chose not to accept the assignment, then our date, they gave us the date when we will officially separate from them. So, they did it with the twist. So, I'll take that over the way the better.com
Absolutely.
because they've been dragging him over the coals.
Right. So if he fired 900, okay, let me ask this question. How many employees are left?
Exactly. And how are they feeling? The ones who are left said, they're nervous because they don't know what's next. But I guess they get a little reprieve because now he's taking an immediate leave of absence.
But forget about the reprieve. How about the next time he sends out a Zoom link, I'm not answering it. I'm not getting on no more Zoom links with him. Are you kidding me? You got to holler at me in person. Okay.
You're going to have to come find me. It's like serving you.
I'm going to keep right on working and act like I don't know what's going on. And you got to keep running my check.
His name is Vishal Garg, Garg. But I don't know exactly how many employees he has, but he laid off 900. And his immediate excuse after he started getting dragged was that the employees there were stealing from the company because they were only working actually 2 hours, but logging 8.
900 people?
And he followed now they have these metrics and all these things like that that do these things. I know people, somebody told me they came up with a little system where it's a thing that'll help you move your mouse to make it look like you're working. I don't know myself because I myself would not participate in such activities. However, I'm saying, how do you know I was only working 2 hours?
But even so, I'm sure out of that 900, some of the managers of those 900 knew that their people either were low on work, didn't have any work, or were, only logging those 2 hours. I mean, because you can't tell me out of 900 they were all doing it, under the low.
Some managers knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you did it just before Christmas. You know what? That's why we're talking about him on today's show, because we're talking about shenanigans and
and nonsense
and the whole nine. I mean, it's just crazy. You did it just before Christmas and then tried to justify it. Now you taking a leave of absence because you can't handle the heat. Now he's trying to get out of the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. The quote Mark Sellers, "What the fudge?"
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Wait. What the fudge? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But anywho, I'm done with him, and I'm done with these topics. I need some laughter. Miss Bettina, what do you have?
Well, I always like to bring a little something to the people because, as Mark Sellers said, "What the fudge?" Right? And this recent "What the fudge" is brought to you by Raid and Terminex. So if you would go right ahead.
Okay, bear with me now.
And share with the listeners. We're going to bear with you. Share with the listeners.
Bear with me. Bear with a sister. Oh, my goodness.
And as usual, I have to be silent first because I need for the people to understand and to view.
Oh, 1 second. It's coming. It's coming.
That's all right. Listen, we live. All kind of stuff happens.
Yes, ma'am. Whew. Lord, help us, Jesus.
You need to, make that a little bigger so everybody can see. Okay, so here I will say unto you, bless her heart, she's partying because there's a Corona involved, right? And I've never had anything against a good Corona with a lime inside. I don't drink myself, but I've seen it happen. Anyway, the addition of the roach, I think under armpit, brings a different level to party all the time. Okay, I generally don't stutter. I'm just gonna say,
oh my goodness,
I don't understand. I've seen a roach or two in my day. Shoot, we had a couple roaches running around my house when I was growing up. I ain't gonna lie, right? However, I think we always checked our armpits before we left the house.
Oh my goodness,
you understand what I'm saying? Because this right here.
Help me.
And you standing there, first of all, is the roach nibbling on something? Is he taking a nap? Because a roach don't usually stay when the lights come on.
This grosses me out so much.
Yes.
It makes my head itch, Bettina.
It's making you itch.
Making me itch.
So I say unto thee and to she, okay? Party if you must, but leave your roach at the house, okay?
But how many of those coronas must you have had for you not to know that something is crawling under your armpit? Is it dead? You think it's dead?
Can I ask the person that took the picture what you took the picture? You didn't say, excuse me, you look like you got a little roach up underneath there.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm gonna cut all this off and just say, what the fudge?
Oh my goodness. Can I
Please dismiss her and her roach.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
you know, when I saw that initially, I just thought it was hair.
Me too.
Listen, I would have appreciated the hair.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
I would have appreciated the hair.
Oh my goodness. And Dion said, gross. That roach is stuck and reapplied deodorant over days without.
Oh, ignorant.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yes. So,
oh,
like goodness. I said, this week's What the Fudge is brought to you by Raid.
Oh my goodness. This is
and in Roach Killer.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That just makes my head itch right now. You don't know how bad I want to scratch my head.
But you too cute and it's going to pull stuff out.
Girl.
So you have to do like this.
I need to pat it. Oh my goodness. Like Mark Seller said, oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is just too crazy. That is just too crazy. Thank you again, Miss Bettina. You ever disappoint.
No, she doesn't.
Ever disappoint. Okay, I need to move on. I need something happy. I need something funny. I need to get that image out of my head. I need some new images now. New images. Well, we are going to move on with our topic for today. And we are discussing funny Christmas memories, interesting Christmas memories, memories that make you say, what the fudge? Or memories that make you say what? Like all of the above with that what the fudge. It's just crazy. Over time, over the years, as I mentioned earlier, Bettina, you still putting up the roach. I couldn't see the roach.
Look, she saw a Raid Black Flag.
We all thought it was Miss Sellers. We all thought it was hair. I thought it was hair. I just thought it was hair. I'm sorry, but anyway, trying to get it out and move on. But growing up, we had all kinds of Christmas memories, as I mentioned earlier. Thinking that a fat man was coming down the chimney and leaving toys and eating the cookies that you set out for them, and only to be disappointed when you learned otherwise. For kids that might be still listening, but
they need to know the truth.
I'm hoping they should know the truth, because they keep asking mom and daddy for things that they should be sending to him and he should be paying for. You paying for it, but he's getting the credit. It's just something wrong with that all the way around. But anyway, I digress. Let me bring it in. As an adult, we have had additional memories, of Christmas dinners, Christmas events, Christmas meetings, people you've invited over that came and somehow turned out the Christmas dinner did something, that left a lasting mark or a memory on you or your guest or just overall in general. And that is what we are tackling today. And we reached out and asked, our audience to send us some of their most memorable times, and they did not disappoint. So we are here to discuss some of those memories today. And ladies, I know you all are just itching.
Yes, I am.
Itching to tell. So Bettina, I will let you go first.
Well, please let me start if you will,
ma'am.
Because I want to tell you one of my most memorable. Well, I have a boatload of them, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to start with one. One of them is my son, who I have talked about many times, Trey, who is now a teenager. When he was 4, at school, he was told, well, if you don't behave, Santa Claus is not going to come and blah, 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 blah. And, at the age that I had my son, I was a little tired and weary, and I didn't have the energy for a whole bunch of lies and stories. So when he said to me, well, we were watching Santa Claus is Coming to Town, a little, the little animated shows. Every year we watched them. He said, well, how is he going to get down the chimney? And what if it's some fire in it? I said, well, how is he going to fit with the bag? And then how does he leave? So he's 4 and he's asking me these questions. So he's pinning my feet to the wall to the point where he says, well, what if you don't have the chimney open, and how is he going to fit? And what if, I said, well, maybe he can come through the front door. Well, what if the alarm is on? Does he know the code? And how is he? And I said, listen, so I finally got tired. And I said, sir, listen, let's talk about Santa Claus. There was a myth back in the day about a man named Kris Kringle. And I just went and I said, now, I don't know personally how true the myth is. I have no idea. However, we gonna just go with, and then the other thing was, how is he in everywhere? How come I see him everywhere? How was he at that store and then he was at the other? I said, listen, he has people that work for him. Okay. There's elves, and then there's people that dress up like him because of the myth. So now that Santa Claus is not coming to this house, and here's what you don't get to do. You don't get to go to school and share that with anybody. Okay? You do not, because when he knows new things, he shares new things. Mm-hmm. I said, you do not get that. And I made complete eye contact. I said, you do not get to share with everybody at school. So when it was nap time at school the next day, the teacher said, listen, if you all don't go to sleep, Santa Claus is not going to come to your house. Listen, he was ready to, and he wouldn't take a nap when it was nap time because he stopped taking naps early. He would read. He going to lean over to the teacher after everybody late to excuse me, Miss Strickland. We know it's not really a Santa Claus. And he looked at her, she said, go over there and sit down. And you better not say nothing to nobody. Sit down. Oh my God. I'm telling. So the teacher said to me, I'm telling you. So of course I had to have that conversation with him through the whole Christmas season. You don't get to share that information. Every parent has the option of sharing that information with their child. It is not your job. So for me, I say that made Christmas really cool for me because I didn't have to go around pretending anymore. If he asked for something, if I wasn't going to get it, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to tell you because you didn't behave. I'm not going to tell you Santa Claus said, because Santa Claus don't look the same everywhere. Mm-hmm.
He made it easy for you not to have to put up and continue, the lie. Yep. Or, the myth, the lie, or the legend, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
We did the same thing in our house.
You did?
Mm-hmm. My husband said, "Well, no, I'm gonna tell y'all just how he said it. Wasn't no fat white man gonna get credit for all the hard work he do to provide for his family." so, from the very beginning, and like Bettina, I had a little one that couldn't wait to go tell the world, the cousins and everybody. That there is not
right.
So I can truly relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, World War III in our home almost broke out when my sister, I have older sisters, and one told the other's daughter that there was no, that was a myth. She told her, and I thought we were gonna have to, call the National Guard, call 911, call the president. I thought we were gonna have to call any and everybody over to referee. Because the one who had not yet delivered the message, she was hot. I mean, that's an understatement. That is an understatement. She felt like she should have been the one to tell her,
right,
what was what. And she's probably listening to me too, because she gave me some news earlier. But I thought it was just gonna be a Rock'em Sock'em Smackdown. But they lived to see another day, and they discussed it and made up later on. But yeah, that was just something. It was like, nah, no, thank you. I'll handle that on my own. Mm-hmm. And Bettina, you had Jadot Sellers.
Yes, she said there was a year we had no Christmas trees, so Mom created a tree for Christmas from Christmas cards on the wall. So as an adult, I too recreated that same memory in my home. I thought it was an awesome that I thought it was so awesome, the creativity of my mom, and she is absolutely right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. My mom could come up with a wheel, a way, and with nothing, and she made a Christmas tree out of Christmas cards. But what was more, creative is, and this was funny. Forget about creative. I remember we had a silver Christmas tree one year.
A silver? I remember
It
those.
was, baby. But listen, you probably remember the silver Christmas tree, but it probably wasn't like a Charlie Brown tree like ours, because our little limbs they was hungry. They looked like they was on Slim Fast. All of them didn't have all the little tentacles and things they needed on it. So some of them was a little skinny and the space was this big on some, and then on some the space was that big and some. So it was a little difficult and different. However, those were some good memories. Y'all got to tell me about some. Bishop, I know. You got some funny memories.
Yes, I got one. Oh my. Someone in my family. Well, let's talk about dinner. And a few weeks before the holiday, someone in my family invited us all to dinner. And oh my goodness, the dinner was delicious. They made the best dressing and macaroni and cheese that I had tasted in a long time. So I decided to tell them, since I was hosting the holiday dinner, I said, you're going to do the macaroni and cheese, because the macaroni and cheese was just so good.
Right.
Honey, why that child showed up with a big, large pan of macaroni and cheese with no cheese in it? You know, I was fit to be tied.
Wait, she put the cheese in hers, but didn't put the cheese in yours?
Come on now.
No, so let me just tell you, Bishop, what you just said was not a truth. She didn't show up with macaroni and cheese. She showed up with macaroni.
She showed up with macaroni. So she tells me, I put some cheese in it. That's like this.
How she looked.
I put some cheese in it. Probably 1 pack of cheese. You're not gonna tell me it just dried up because I made it yesterday and we had to put it up. And you're not gonna tell me, I know I've made large pans. I still get a little hot about this. I made large pans of macaroni and cheese, and you put it in the refrigerator in the morning. You stick it in the oven, and it starts to come together and bubble up. And I mean, my little feelings were hurt, because I was like, if you didn't want to make the macaroni and cheese, you just should have told me. I would have made it myself. And then, okay, I'm a practical person, so I know that this is someone who could afford to make the macaroni and cheese, because that's not a cheap dish, not for a big pan.
Right.
So,
exactly.
my mom has never made boxed macaroni and cheese.
Right.
And so everybody in my family know that we are accustomed to, you get the
real
block of
thing.
cheese and you mix it and all of it.
Homemade.
So, but this person, like I said, I was so disappointed. And the family, and so somebody else in my family said, if you could have saw your face when you took the top off of that pan, because, I enjoy serving people. I enjoy having people at my house. I'm that person. So when you come, I want you to enjoy the food. I want you to have a great experience, And so she know most people like macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
And I tell you,
Dion said it best.
Yes,
Damn,
he
that's
did.
cheesy.
and that is it, Dion. Come on now. So anyway, I'm good.
Did anybody eat it, Sonia? The question is, did anybody eat it?
Well, y'all know me. We started pulling cheese out the refrigerator and trying to put it down in
You
revive
started
it.
doctoring it up, Sonia. You doctored it up.
My goodness. But honey, you know that person don't do macaroni and cheese no more, not at my events.
I'm so good.
Sonia, I have eaten many meals at your house. Too many that I can't even count them on all our hands and fingers. I've eaten a ton of, so I know your mac and cheese. Yes, I know. I tried to recreate her mac and cheese. Full disclosure, it was nothing like Sonia's mac and cheese. Nothing like it. Mm-hmm. So when you say the mac and cheese wasn't mac and cheese, I know it wasn't mac and cheese. Mm-hmm. And real quick, we call Sonia Miss Hosea, because Hosea feeds
the hungry.
Because I was hungry, and she fed me. And she fed me many days. I was hungry. I remember when I came, and I know I'm getting off subject a little bit, but I remember when I came to Georgia, I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Mm-hmm. I mean, robbing Peter to pay Paul, you working 2, 3, 15, 20 jobs to make ends meet.
Right.
thank you, Jesus, from where he brought me now. Look at me now.
Mm,
Anyway,
Won't he do it?
I always say, yes, he did. He did it. Yes, ma'am. I always have to give him thanks when I talk about even things like this, because it's not nobody but Jesus. But anywho, we talking about him. So yeah, I can give him thanks. Yes, ma'am. Anywho, I'm sounding like you, Sonia. I'm way off subject right about it. Anyway.
I'm telling you, Vanessa done took it there.
Yes.
Anyway, Sonya done fed me. Sonya has fed me. Her kids have called to say, y'all coming to dinner? So I know your mac and cheese. I know, I can tell. I can look at food. I've eaten at her house so much. I can look at food and pretty much tell who cooked it or Sonya cooked it. That's how much. That's how many dishes I've had at her house. How many? So if you say that mac and cheese wasn't mac and cheese, it wasn't mac and cheese. I'm sorry.
It was a disappointment.
I'm sorry, but you know what? It's a memory that you all will laugh about to this day, because you still
We still do.
Girl. Well, mine, and then this is a normal. I say it's normal. It shouldn't be normal, but I think this is a normal occurrence. I went and had Christmas dinner. I always cook dinner at my house whenever I go, someplace else, unless I'm going to Sonia's. True story. Unless I go to Sonia's, I don't cook, because I always bring food home. Yes, I do. I'm that person. Yes, I'm bringing home a plate. But I always cook if I'm outside of my home or Sonia's. Even I will cook my own meal. And I was invited for Christmas dinner, and they had fried turkey. And I've learned to fry turkeys, and I do pretty good myself, if I must say so. They had a fried turkey, and it looked so good. I was licking my chops to get into some of this turkey. And they started slicing the turkey, carving the turkey, and they still had the plastic bag. They fried the turkey with the plastic bag over it. How come that didn't cook? To this day, I don't understand how the plastic bag did not fry.
Did you just say,
yes, ma'am. Yep.
Pump the brake, pancake?
Yes, ma'am.
You just said that they fried the turkey.
Yes, ma'am.
With the plastic covering on it.
It had the plastic. You know how they have the neck and the giblet.
The giblet bag with the all up inside.
Yes.
Which means they didn't clean the turkey out.
Yes.
So you eating fried nasty turkey.
Needless to say, my mouth stopped watering. My mouth stopped watering, and I was immediately grossed out. Yes, Tanya. Yes, Miss Douglas. Yes.
What in the absolute?
Yes. To this day, that taught me it's a good thing I have the tradition of cooking my own stuff, because as bad as I wanted that turkey, I couldn't do it. Shanada Williams Parker said they didn't wash that bird. A mess. Yes, ma'am. That was a hot mess. Hot mess. But yes, so that was gross and all, and then it makes you start wondering what else did they not do to the other food. The rest of the food.
If I'm gonna think it, then you can say it, because I'm gonna tell you right now. If you got the giblet bag,
come on now,
inside your turkey, what else did you not wash, rinse, or clean off before you put in some fire?
Oh my goodness. But why didn't that bag burn?
Forget about why the bag didn't burn. It was a nasty turkey. I can't get to that. I'm not even concerned about the unbusted burned bag. I'm just caught up with the fact that the turkey was nasty.
The turkey was nasty, but it looked so pretty on the outside.
But did anybody cut and eat it? See, that's what I want to know. Because somebody probably would have said, well, that's the inside. I'm just the outside where the meat ain't bad.
Oh, some people ate it. I wasn't one. But people ate it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They were like, oh my goodness, we forgot to take this out. And they laughed about it. Hee hee ha. And I'm thinking, hee hee, nothing. No. Shanada said, why do you invite people to eat your nastiness? I'm telling you why.
Let me tell you something right now.
Well, I have a similar one, and this one is work related. Around the holidays, you have the holiday parties. And I thank God for a supervisor that I used to have that talked about he don't like potlucks because all pots aren't lucky.
Right. That's right.
And I ain't learned nothing else from him. I learned that.
Yep.
And that's why you guys, if you go to the parties at work and people are bringing dishes and all of that kind of stuff, you need to be on the committee so you can see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, same thing. This lady brings in the turkey, the bag still in the turkey. And, I'm always on the setup and, organizing with stuff like this. The bag's still in the turkey. And the guy that I asked to carve the turkey, I mean, as soon as he cut into it and he saw that bag, and he was like, OHELL now. And we was like, what is wrong with you? He said, look at this SHIT.
The bishop think because she's spelling it, she ain't saying it.
He said,
This is a happy Christmas memory for me right here.
he said that nasty how you spell the cow? Yeah.
HEFFA.
He said, oh no. So he turns the turkey around because we asked him to carve it to let us look at the cavity of the turkey. And we're like, oh. So as soon as he said, I can't even cut this up. Soon as he finished doing whatever he was doing, he walked around to everybody that looked like me and said, don't y'all eat that. Don't y'all eat that. Don't you eat this. Don't you eat this? You know, we already kind of skeptical about who's bringing food. Right. This person was so insistent. We kept saying, no, you don't have to do it. Just do the paper plates. No, they were insistent on bringing the turkey. That's why we had other meats, many other meats.
Wow.
We just knew.
Wow.
Nasty, nasty, nasty. And this was at work.
First of all, for some reason, every single time, whether it's a potluck, a company party, or whatever it is, the people that we insist bring the paper plates, the napkins, and the cups and the silverware always want to cook something.
Always.
And listen, and they don't just want to cook something. They want to say, "Oh, this dish is a winner." Okay, it's a crowd pleaser. They always have a story about how everybody always likes this particular dish when they bring it, and it's always some mess.
Yes, yes.
And then you got people putting it on their plates because, listen, I'm not saying I've ever done this before. You got people putting this on their plates, and then as soon as they turn their back, they throw the plate, they turn the plate down in the trash, flip it over.
Absolutely.
We were so bold at work, we just don't touch it at all. They go home. What they bring, they go back. They take it back home. They was like, "Oh, y'all didn't want to try this."
Nope. You can't do it.
Listen, let me tell you something. One year, this probably was, and I say 1 year, this probably was like 2008. My whole family was here for Christmas, right? I mean, we had everybody here. And money was funny and change was strange. Because I was like, it was a boatload of us. I decided, as much as I don't like to wrap gifts, I decided everybody in the house was getting a gift, no matter what. So when I wrapped all those gifts and I stayed in there, I was cheerful and I was smiling and I was going to make sure everybody had a gift. And when they started opening them gifts and it was a pair of their slippers or a can of beans from outside in the garage. Everybody, they laughed so hard. They said, "You're so ridiculous." I said, "Everybody I was in the garage shopping. I was buying stuff. Look, I was buying stuff from my own garage. I'm talking about, I had a can of green beans. I think somebody got some cranberry sauce. Somebody got some pop that they like. My cousin got some slippers that she couldn't find around the house that particular night because I had wrapped them up. Her slippers. People got some of their own clothes.
I love that, Bettina. That's genius.
That sounds like so much fun.
I had a ball. Do you hear me? I had the best time, and we all we did was laugh our heads off because it was definitely something that everybody wanted because it was their own stuff.
That was genius. That was genius. and so Alexis, she said, and we didn't get to keep our gifts if they weren't already ours.
I'm gonna need that can of green beans back because I got to cook it.
Yeah, pass me my shoes. You got my shoes. Pass me my shoes.
Can you pass me my shoes? Mm-hmm.
And you know, Jadot Sellers also, back to the potluck. She said, definitely right. I had a coworker in the stall next to mine. I washed my hands. She walked out the stall and out the door. I yelled, "Come wash your hands." So that potluck wasn't so lucky. I was hungry that day. Yeah.
That's right, because you're not eating that mess.
No. And I used to work Sonia and I years ago used to work together, and there was a lady who had a nasty cough. It sounded like she was always trying to cough up a lung, but she was a smoker. And one Christmas we had a potluck, and she was the first one there trying to cut the cake and serve cake. And you know, I have a sweet tooth. I wanted some of that cake so bad, but I could not. I was angry because I have a sweet tooth. I wanted some cake, but she's over there coughing and cutting cake, and it's like, oh, I was angry. I was really hurt. I was angry. I'm thinking, why am I getting so angry? It's just cake, but I had my mouth again. I had my mouth watering for some cake. I couldn't
And how
get
come the
it.
ones how come when they and just let me ask, I'm going to digress for a second about that cough.
Mhm.
How come that cough is never just a cough? How come it's
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes.
why is it always that? It's never just why is it
Mhm.
They coughing up some stuff.
Mhm.
And
and
then
you
the
waiting to
main
see
ones
that kidney in their mouth when they get done. You're like, I
Yes.
know that you
Yes.
have your kidney right back by your tonsils. I'm
Yes.
sure of it.
Yes. It sounds like they're coughing up lungs and all kind of organs. And then the main ones want to either cook food or serve it or just be near it. And then don't understand why you looking at them cross-eyed because they over by the food coughing.
Mhm.
I don't get that.
That's
I
when you
just
make them feel like they're extra special and say, listen, today is your day. You don't have to do a thing.
There you
We
go.
gonna see how I did that? See what I did with that?
Yep.
Today
Yep.
is your day.
Yep.
We gonna don't you listen, don't touch a thing. Listen, you can't do nothing. You got to make it real good for there's nothing you can do in here today. You sit
Yes.
down and just enjoy. You
And
see
then,
I
but
did
then
that?
you gotta go a step further and grab them by the arm and lead
And
them
lead
over
them to the seat. Come on
Yes.
now, Miss Vanessa. I
Come on
see
now.
what you did there.
so that they can sit down. So you know that they're sitting down and not trying to get up and serve and do, whatnot. But because otherwise they still insist that they're gonna help and whatnot.
That's why I like cupcakes.
Yes.
Well, no, because I know some people that make cupcakes, but they let their dog in their kitchen.
Oh.
And so, right. So I'm gonna stop you on that cupcake because I know somebody that had a cupcake, and we had a couple hairs on the cupcakes, the homemade cupcake.
Nah.
And the bad part was somebody ate it before they realized it was a few dog hairs floating around and said how good the cupcake was, which, like you, Vanessa, you wanted that cake. And it was chocolate on the cup. I was like,
Yes.
look, you see now, see. And then at that point, okay, I'm gonna just go on and tell the truth. I wanted to swing on her, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I wanted the chocolate cupcake
Yes.
at that point.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen, cousin Audrey said, I always make sure I know who did the cooking. I have put many plates in the trash because someone put something on my plate that I did not
You
want.
got
I
to.
know that's right.
You have to.
Mhm.
You have to. And then Sinead also wrote, we don't let our co-worker cut the cake because she has to go last. She is a cutter and licker.
Oh, come on now,
Oh.
not with the licking.
Oh, she'll cut the cake. Are you serious?
Oh.
Is
And
she
look,
licking this? Oh,
Are you serious? At a potluck, she cuts the cake and are you? Now, see, that's no home training. That's someone
well,
who
she
has
doing what she does at home. That's exactly right.
exactly.
absolutely. Oh my! And then I bet she cooked something too and brought it. Oh my
And all
god!
you can think about is everything that she brought. She licked on it.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Because she the person that make the mix and then do like this.
Yeah, I was thinking that same. Oh my!
And text the better and
goodness.
then do like this. Wait,
And then dip in there again. She
right, because she can't figure out what's missing. Mhm.
Mhm.
That's where she goes.
You know, I want to ask a question so bad. I wonder if she.
Before you ask that question, I'm gonna say this real quick. That's why our parents used to tell us, "Don't you eat at everybody's house."
That's
Yes,
exactly
ma'am.
right.
They didn't play. My mom, I mean, and some family members, you better get yourself somewhere and sit down. They feed you before you leave home, and you say no.
Mhm.
Oh
No,
my
thank you.
goodness!
No,
Oh
thank
my goodness! I mean, that just shows. I mean, because most families, at least where I grew up, you didn't do that. You didn't lick and put no spoon back in the pot. My parents never cooked and licked.
Oh,
I
no.
never saw them lick a spoon and put it back in the pot and start stirring. I never saw any of
Never
that.
saw that. And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something. My grandmother, when she used to taste something or sample it, she would take it out of the pot and put it in the palm of her hand. And
Yes,
she would take, my
exactly.
grandmother would take it, she would put it in the palm of her hand. But I'm gonna tell you a funny Christmas that I remember when I was little. We went to somebody's house and was calling ourselves eating, and I couldn't figure out what the smell was. Hold up. And I was like, what is that? Like, I couldn't figure out what the smell was. It just would. So when the lady offered me some food, she said, oh, you can have this. And I generally am not a food sniffer, right? I said, oh no, I don't want to eat. That smells like doo-doo. It was chitlins.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yep.
Right. And so generally when it cooks, it does smell bad, but when you get it in your bowl, it's not. What
Right.
I discovered, which I wasn't going to eat it, is what I discovered is it wasn't necessarily that clean.
Right.
Them chitlins wasn't
Yep.
clean. They hadn't been
Mhm.
scraped and raked and carrying on. And however, I said, oh, that smell like doo. My mother was mortified. She
Yeah.
turned around, looked at me, and that's what she told me when we got. She said, let me tell you, don't you ever in your Black life say that somebody's food tastes like doo-doo. What you say is, no, thank you.
Girl.
I said, but you didn't smell it. Smell like. She said, did you hear what I just said? You know when they talking, they don't even take
Yes,
their teeth
yes.
apart. She said, did you hear what I just told you?
Yes.
Don't you ever. And I said, okay. And I took that whole thing and I drug it to my children. You don't get to, but my son's face, my son would look, and I'm like, if you say, you better, and he's hard to wrangle in because he just feels like it needs to be said. And I told him, everything you think does not have to be said, sir.
But Bettina, to the chitlins, when I was in Germany, and you just brought this back to my memory. I was in Germany, and around the holidays, New Year's, Christmas, that's when most people cook chitlins.
Mhm.
This girl in Germany said that the way she cooked her chitlins, she'll buy them. That was before they somewhat cleaned them now, I think, in the grocery store. But she would buy them. She said she just cooks them. She would put them in a pot and cook them and scrape
The doo-doo off?
whatever comes
all
to
the
the
stuff.
top. She scraped that off the top of the pot. She would scrape it. That right there, because I didn't eat chitlins until I was in Germany, until I moved to Germany. But that taught me you cannot eat everybody's chitlins.
No ham,
Absolutely
no
not.
spam, no
She would
ma'am.
cook them. She would buy them unclean and put them in the pot, put water in them, and boil them. Start cooking them. And she said, "You just scrape the stuff off the top as it boils to the top." Yes, yes, yes.
Listen, as we get ready to come to a close, Vanessa, I know you're gonna close out. As we come to a close, I just want to say I have laughed myself into some happy holiday cheer today. And I know we didn't get as many stories as we would have liked to. However, the stories that we got out
Girl,
were some good, funny stories. And I just want to say to everybody, remember, this time of year can be a very sad time for a lot of people because they've lost people. I've struggled myself with it this year. However, this time of year can be very sad. Keep in mind that Jesus is the real reason for the season. If you keep your eyes focused on God, Bishop, I'm not going to take your words.
No. Go on, Junior Bishop.
If you keep your eyes stayed on God and stayed on the reason for the season, whatever is sad within your heart, find something kind to say or do for somebody else. And that always brings me joy and cheers me up.
absolutely. And thank you so much for that, Bettina. And Sonia, you have anything you want to add to that?
Absolutely not. She said it all.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. As she always does. That's why she's a junior bishop.
Absolutely.
With all the slashes. I still think she's missing some slashes behind her name. But that's why she does what she does. And again, she said it so eloquently.
Yes, she did.
Jesus is the reason for the season. And as Miss Sellers said, amen, because there's really nothing else to say. You just love someone. If you feel like, you're lonely, you feel yourself getting depressed or down for whatever reason, go to your word. Go to your word and read, God will point you to the scripture that will pull you out of whatever funk you might be in.
Yes.
And if you don't do that and that you find that may or may not help you, go help somebody. Go find somebody to be kind to. Go help somebody. There's so many charities and things out there, that you can go out and help. And that in itself, doing for others always to me helps me when I might feel like I'm in a funk or whatever. Or
And as this is, I'm sorry, Vanessa, our only show for this month because Christmas is our second one. I just want to say Merry Christmas to Merry Christmas to everyone. And please have a very Merry New Year. And forget about New Year's resolutions. Just say I want to be better today than I was yesterday. And better tomorrow than I am today.
And have a wonderful and safe Christmas. Ladies, say goodbye.
God bless.
Bye.
Get ready for Sonia, Teresa, Vanessa, Bettina.